I've got to talk about something that I went through this past year. This isn't going to interest everybody, so if you want, you can keep scrolling. It has to do with women's health. At the beginning of December in 2024, I went on a trip with my family. The first stop that we went to once we got to our destination was an urgent care clinic because I felt like I had a UTI. Now, the test came back negative for a UTI, but the urgent care doctor told me that drinking a lot of water can sometimes throw off the tests, and based on my symptoms, he went ahead and prescribed me an antibiotic. I took those over the rest of the trip and finished them when we got back home, and I didn't see any improvement, so I went to another urgent care clinic. This time when they took the test, they said it was positive for a UTI and that I just wasn't responding well to the first round of antibiotics, so they prescribed me a different round. Again, unfortunately, the antibiotics didn't work, so then I went to my third trip to an urgent care clinic, and after that I went to see a primary care doctor. That's what they recommended. They said the test was negative. I went to see a primary care doctor. He said that the positive test was a false positive, so I never tested positive for a UTI. I was given a referral to a urologist and a gynecologist. I went ahead and scheduled an appointment for both because I wasn't able to get in until February, and I didn't want to just go to one and then have to wait another month or two to schedule the next one if I needed it. Beginning of February was the gynecology appointment. They didn't find anything wrong, so they said they thought it was a urology problem. I did go ahead and get a pap smear done while I was there, and they had to use like the pediatric tools because my muscles, my pelvic muscles in the area were really tight. Now, I'm not sexually active at all, so never once was I concerned that I had an STD of any kind. At the end of February is when I went to my urology appointment. And at this appointment, the doctor did go ahead and diagnose me with something called IC, which stands for interstitial cystitis. Now, let me tell you that I was now 3 months in on this journey, and these symptoms were awful. It was like, if you can imagine, if you've ever had a UTI, it was like that times 10. It kept me up almost all nights. Like, I could not fall asleep due to how uncomfortable I was. I would end up like on the floor a couple times a week crying because nothing was helping at all. And this was constant. This was a constant feeling. It consumed all my thoughts throughout every day because there was no like reprieve from it. So when I was diagnosed with IC, or interstitial cystitis, I was kind of less than thrilled. There's not a lot known about IC. I was told that by pretty much every doctor I went to see. It's something that is kind of given as a diagnosis once they've ruled everything else out. So they don't really know what causes it. There's medications you can take to help manage symptoms, but there's no like cure or like treatment that can just solve it really fast. So I was prescribed a couple of medications to help manage my symptoms, and I started taking those daily. And then after about a month of that, which is when I should have started feeling the effects of the medicine pretty quickly, but after about a month, again, there was no change. So I called my urologist and told her that the medication wasn't working for me, so she prescribed me a different medication. And guess what? This one didn't work either. So after that, I went to see a urogynecologist, which is a different specialist than a urologist and a gynecologist. I didn't know that was a thing. Also, up until this point, the only testing that I'd had done is I would give a urine sample at pretty much any appointment I've been to up to this point, and I had a couple of ultrasounds. So one of the ultrasounds would be to check and see if I was emptying my bladder properly, which I was, and then the other ultrasound was to see if there was any like masses or like anything unnatural that they find in the bladder area. I also went ahead and scheduled through my urologist a cystoscopy, but I had to wait until June. So when I went to go see the urogynecologist, this would have put me like end of April, beginning of May. At the urogynecologist, they did a couple of like different testings, nothing super crazy. They did a catheter, which again, they had to use the pediatric tools for, and it was similar to one of the ultrasounds. They were trying to see if I was emptying my bladder properly. They also did a test for the pelvic floor muscles to see just how tense and tight that those muscles were, in case that was my issue and that's what was causing all my problems. My muscles were very tight, so I was given a referral to see a physical therapist to do wand exercise to help loosen those pelvic floor muscles up. The urogynecologist also prescribed me some medication to see if that would help manage my symptoms again. I started going to see the physical therapist about once a week and following their recommended exercises to do at home, the wand exercises, twice a day. Now, the physical therapy and the new medication didn't work for me, and so I was really holding out hope for this cystoscopy appointment in June, hoping that they would find something that was wrong, because up until this point, like every week, every day, I kept telling myself that I couldn't do this any longer, and I was just my mind was like going down a dark path, more and more as I was not getting help from anything, and nothing seemed to be working, and I felt like I was running out of options. So I went to have the cystoscopy done, and I had to be put under anesthesia because of how like uncomfortable just the catheter was for me. So they put me under, and they did find, like, they said it was similar to like a polyp that they went ahead and removed while I was under, and then stitched me right back up. Very like small procedure. It was uncomfortable for like the next couple weeks, and I had to take things easier because it was like a small surgery. I could tell pretty quickly that the polyp wasn't what was causing my problems. And then I remember messaging my urogynecologist and let her know how it went and that it didn't help me, and she had sent me just like another referral to go see somebody else. And at that point, I was just not okay with getting just another referral and feel like I'm starting over and over again without finding any solutions. So my parents helped me make an appointment at the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio to see a specialist within this field, whether it's IC or anything related to pelvic floor. I got to go see the specialist mid-September at Cleveland Clinic, and she confirmed that I had IC, and we set up a treatment plan. I'm on 3 medications currently, the biggest one being amitriptyline. I'm on duloxetine and then pregabalin. So after almost a year of dealing with this, I finally had a treatment plan that worked. The medication has pretty much completely fixed my symptoms. Like, I don't feel hardly anything anymore. But when I tell you that this was a extremely gut-wrenching and difficult process to get to this point, I am not exaggerating at all. And every doctor told me that this is fairly common in young women in their like early to mid 20s. So if you are somebody who's also going through this, just know that you will find a treatment plan that works for you. Do not give up or lose hope like I almost did. And if this helps you in any way, I am so happy. Send me a message if you have any questions.